JQ Crafty here. I figured I would show you, since after I did my first process layout video, and I said I was going to kill that kit, that I would show you. So this is the one I created in that kit, in the process video, I should say. And so this is the first page of 3 pages I got out of the ScrapRoom kit. That was a pretty old one. I had mentioned what it was before. So that was the first one. This was the second one. And I did... the kit club will come with sketches sometimes, and so as you can see, this is from October 2018. It was the double shot kit, so it came with 2 photo collections. I cut it off, sorry, what the collections were that came with this sketch, but this was still the same collection from this for my process video. But the sketch is from a recipe card, they call it, from 2018. So I used that sketch to make this page with that kit. And then finally, I found this sketch from Scrapbooks, etc. I used to get their magazine, and I miss getting a paper magazine, but I loved this sketch. I remember seeing it in there, and so I used this to make this page. So I mean, obviously it's a jumping off point, right? I love using sketches and taking my twist on it. So this was the sketch. That was the sketch, and this is the page I made. Same photos. It was all from the same photo shoot, so they're all going to go in an album together. But this is my son making his silly faces. So this is what I came up with that. And then literally, this is all I have left of the kit. I have a horse, which I'll figure out something for that someday. My mom had a love of horses, so maybe I'll do something for a page with her in it. A couple branding strips, a couple squares and pieces of this page. Perfect things to make a card out of. And that. So that is all I have left. So I would say that kit is officially killed. And then I had used this paper, and so all I have left of that too, and that wasn't part of the kit, it was just another paper, but all I have left is that. So that is all I have left of that kit. Alrighty, so now here's the process for my next layout. Here is the Freaky Fast formula from the ScrapRoom. I'll be using that today. Going to use an old kit from them from 2014. It's a crepe paper. It's called Poolside. Lots of fun colors. My son and I went to a butterfly tent at a local county fair. I just pointed out that Sunkissed. I'm going to actually use that as a title for another layout using this kit and for that fair. But yeah, fun time we had in a butterfly tent. So I got this amazing butterfly cut file from Virginia Walker, COAPA. Confessions of a Paper Addict is her Etsy shop, COAPA. Some awesome cut files in there. So I knew I had to use them. And when else do I get to be girly with my son? Hardly ever on a layout, except for we were in a butterfly tent with flowers. So this was my chance to get to kind of do a girly layout, but having to do the cuts for that challenge also of using the Freaky Fast formula. So I just cut a 3-inch strip of that floral paper because I know I want to use that as the background for my butterflies. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't accidentally not leave some. So I'm going trimming the branding strip there off that. I really like there was like a tape detail at the corner of this pink paper as well, so I wanted to make sure I kept that. So I did that in the 3x6 strip I needed to do, and then I did floral in the 4x5 piece, and then this branding strip was an inch or ½ inch, and then I just added another ½ inch to make my 1x12 strip. I thought that would be kind of fun. Gives a couple layers and a couple different dimensions. So here's that 4x5, and then I also have to cut a 10-inch circle. Whenever I do these Freaky Fast formulas, the whole point of them is for them to be freaky fast. They give you what you need to cut, and then Some people like to plan out what patterns they want to cut and what. I kind of just go, all right, I'm going to cut this now, this now, this now. And I just cut all the pieces and then I figure it out. And the whole point is it kind of challenges yourself every time you do it to see, okay, how can I make this work? You can obviously always add stuff, subtract stuff, whatever. But I really like the challenge of I'm just going to cut and see where I go. So I decided to do my 10-inch circle in this like parquet flooring looking pattern. I'm not sure. I don't use a lot of circles, so I was having a hard time figure out how I wanted to do the circle. I didn't want to just plaster a circle on there. And then I grabbed the background for a second and I thought, what about negative space? So here I'm trying to decide, do I use the diagonal stripe or do I use the wood parquet flooring type looking pattern? And also messing around with my photos and figuring out how I wanted to layer it. I really liked that pink, like right behind the floral a lot. And I didn't want too much of the floral on there since they were going to be the butterflies as well. So, because I really wanted them to stand out when I have them cut out. And I decided, because I have that branding strip that I cut for my 1x12, it has the stripes in it. So if I couldn't line them up right, it looked like it would blend in too much. And one of the stripes was a scallop, if you can see that in the branding strip of that same wood parquet flooring. So it almost looked like I had layered 3 different papers. So now I've decided, okay, I want the branding strip there. I know I want my photos, trying to figure out, do I want to layer them? How do I want to do this? I decided, you know what, let's just glue this down. I know I want this. Just get this done so I can move on, pretty much. And then, of course, I struggle with getting it lined up on the edges. Sometimes it's just easier to flip it over. And I kind of like the fact that I didn't cut the circle right in the middle, that it's kind of off kilter. Going a little crazy with my tape gun. Could not get that thing to, or I could not get that, just use it properly today. Oh, I'm sorry, I am yawning. Alright, trying to figure out how I want my photo placement. I definitely want the butterflies and flowers in between me and my son, but then I was realizing, I'll realize here actually in a minute, that because his face is cut off, I don't like it that it like highlights that it's cut off when there's a photo next to it on the side that it's cut off. So I decided to swap my photo and his photo because, yeah, that way it's not as obvious. So now I'm finally like figuring out, okay, I want the photos here. I'm going to mat them really quick on this white. Ta-da, they're matted. Figuring out I want to kind of overlap the pictures over here, do some layering on the far left behind my photo, and figure out what kind of embellishments I want before I start gluing everything down. And I realized this mason jar that came in the kit, there's sequins in this little bag, and the mason jar itself is actually a shaker pocket. All ready to go. Just pour and seal. That's it. I don't even know if I needed to seal it, but I figured I should. It was like sewn on the sides and the bottom. So yeah. Trying to figure out if I want the words in there or not. No. Just playing around, then trying to figure out when after I cut my butterfly backgrounds, like where do I want my butterflies? Cute frames. I really enjoy watching people use frames for layering, and I've really liked doing it if I get a chance. So I do that here and kind of mirror, cut the frame up and then put it on my photo and then on my son's photo in the background. All right, I think I'm finally figuring things out. cut the frame up and layer it up. So the beautiful floral paper that I'm going to put behind the butterflies, I have tucked behind my photo there on the left, and you can barely see it, and I don't know what I did. Well, here's my first mistake. I accidentally decided to glue that down first instead of the pink paper, which should have been the other way around. I will realize that in a little bit and fix it. But then it must have been after I fixed it and just getting everything glued down, I basically lost that floral paper. It's like gone. It's only a tiny bit is peeking out in the final result, which kind of makes me sad, but at least it's with the butterflies, so it's behind the butterflies. All right. Getting the frame laid down on this side, and then I'm gonna pop up my photo on foam. And I realized after this layout, I made a little wish list. Foam tape is not that fun. It's good for some things, but I think I need to get myself some fun foam sheets. The foam tape it runs out faster than you can. So here I put my photo down, and I'm going to start foam taping the other one. Get my kid's photo with his frame over on the other side, and then the butterfly one. And here I realize, oh shoot, I put that pink on top of the floral, so I'll fix it. I struggled with this for a little bit, so I cut some of it out. Yeah, there we go. But still not as much as picking out that I originally thought was. Set it against that little frame. Put it aside. The end result still turned out really good. I just am kind of bummed that that floral paper ended up being so tucked behind my photo that you really can't see it. So I got that shaker pocket all set, and then I could not get it to fall where I wanted to. So I had to bang it around for a little bit, and then I finally got that heart to settle down on the other side. Glue down the twine. Glue down that little sentiment here. In general, this layout's pretty busy, but I really, really enjoyed making it. This kit had so many fun little embellishments between frames and that acetate frame, which I will use on a different layout, and a floral die cut, and then just the papers were fun, and that shaker mason jar with the sequins. Couldn't have worked more perfectly. Alright, finally got that cluster. I got my silhouette out, and I cut out the background of those butterflies, and also cut out my title, which ended up looking a little crazy busy. But yeah, getting those butterflies glued down, and then I'll pop them up on some foam squares as well. I want to get them placed around the page to figure out where the heck I want my title. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm realizing that now as I'm getting ready. I cut it out, and the title is No Sudden Movements, because we got not really a lecture, but we got a little speech given to us before we entered the butterfly room that do not grab them. If they're on you, do not freak out. No sudden like wailing or flailing or anything. Just stay nice and still. And if you walk nice and still, they will land on you. At one point I had a ton on me, but I did get a picture of this one, and my son was kind of scared of them flapping all over the place, but he thought it was really, really cool. They were everywhere. So I popped up those butterflies on some phone squares, figured out finally where I want my title there. It is kind of busy because I did it on the stripe. It does remind me though of the netting and like the fencing that the butterflies were in, was that almost like a screen. So, you know, it kind of gave you a distorted look when you tried to look through it. So it kind of reminded me of that. But yeah, I do go around it with some white just to make it stand out a little more. But it did get a little crazier than I expected. And then after I get my title on, I'll add some Nouveau drops in some, like, I think it's Golden Sunset, to add a little gold throughout the page, since there's that gold in that shaker pocket. So yeah, but other than that, I do add the white though around the title off camera, because actually my battery died and it stopped recording on me right after I kind of picked it up to give it a once over. But yeah, so that's all I have left. So I'll give you a little close up here in a second, and the still shots. And yeah, thank you for watching. Enjoy.